Welcome to the virtual practical test on vapor compression test rig. In this session, you will be able to explain practical relevance, importance, and the procedure of determining performance parameters of vapor compression refrigeration system. You will also be able to determine theoretical and actual COP by using vapor compression refrigeration test rig. In this experiment, we determine theoretical and actual COP, means coefficient of performance, by using vapor compression refrigeration test rig. So objectives of these experiments are: study vapor compression refrigeration system, explain performance of experiment, which includes experimental setup, observations, calculations, result tables, and conclusions. Practical relevance is: we know various low temperature applications such as domestic refrigerator, water cooler, air conditioners, automobile air conditioner, cold storage, ice plant, and central air conditioning systems. In all these applications, temperature at the desired space is maintained below the surrounding temperature. This is possible by the process which is called as refrigeration. So, refrigeration is process of removal of heat from the space or substance whose temperature is to be kept below surrounding temperature. One more definition of refrigeration is: refrigeration is the transfer of heat from where it is not wanted to a place where it is not objectionable. So in the refrigeration process, heat from the space at low temperature is carried by the two-phase substance called as refrigerant, and it is carried to the surrounding which is at high temperature. Now this is possible by mechanical system which is called as vapor compression refrigeration system. So major components of the vapor compression refrigeration system are compressor, condenser, metering device or expansion valve, and evaporator. So from the evaporator, low pressure and low temperature vapor refrigerant goes to the compressor. In the compressor, this low pressure and low temperature vapor is compressed. Thus, its temperature and pressure is increased. Also, its thermal energy is increased. So, the temperature of vapor refrigerant is going above the atmospheric temperature. Such high pressure and high temperature vapor refrigerant goes to the next device, that is condenser, where condenser rejects heat from vapor refrigerant to the atmosphere, and this vapor refrigerant is converted into liquid form, that is condensation of the refrigerant is taking place at constant pressure. This high temperature and high pressure liquid refrigerant is coming to the metering device or expansion valve, where liquid refrigerant is expanded by throttling process. In this process, enthalpy of the refrigerant is remaining constant and its temperature and pressure is reduced to a very low level. So from the metering device, low pressure and low temperature, very cold refrigerant, liquid refrigerant, when comes to the evaporator space, then heat is absorbed by the refrigerant, that is liquid refrigerant, from the evaporator space, and this liquid refrigerant is converted into vapor. Thus, in turn, cooling effect is produced at the evaporator space, and the cycle is continued till the temperature at the evaporator space is reached to the set value. So in this way, these four component working of the VCRS system taking place. Experimental setup here, which is called as vapor compression refrigeration test rig. So which consists of these all components. So here is a compressor, condenser, capillary tube as an expansion valve, evaporator tank, dryer, accumulator, suction pressure gauge, discharge pressure gauge, temperature indicator, energy meter of compressor and energy meter of heater, thermostat for compressor, heating thermostat, and high pressure low pressure cutout. Let us see one by one. This is a compressor, condenser of plate, fin and tube type with fan for force convection type heat transfer, evaporator water tank which contains heating and cooling coil where the cooling effect of the water is obtained, capillary tube, dryer, accumulator, suction pressure gauge, discharge pressure gauge, temperature indicator, energy meter, refrigerant flow meter, high pressure low pressure cutout, compressor thermostat and heater thermostat. So all these components are of vapor compression refrigeration test rig. This is block diagram of refrigeration test rig. Technical specification of refrigeration test rig are: rated cooling capacity is 600 to 750 watts. Refrigerant used here is R134A, which is called as tetrafluoroethane. Chemical formula is C2H2F4. Condenser fan motor is of induction type. Water calorimeter tank volume dimensions are given. Electrical supply at 230 volts with 50 Hz frequency with AC current. Temperature indicator is of digital type. While using refrigeration test setup, we have to take precautions. Refrigeration test rig should be placed in a well ventilated space. It should be placed on a level surface. It must have a stabilized power supply in order to avoid power fluctuations. Proper connection should be for overflow drain and feeding of water calorimeter tank. Standard operating procedure: connect the power cable to supply, fill the calorimeter with water up to overflow level, put the main switch on, put on compressor and heater switch and note down the energy meter readings for the desired temperature. Maintain the water calorimeter temperature steady by using heater thermostat adjustment. Record the readings with a time interval of 5 minutes. So here compressor energy meter reading, heater energy meter reading, suction pressure and discharge pressure readings, various temperature readings are to be recorded as per the procedure mentioned, and finally plot the vapor compression cycle on the pH chart. Now let us go to the conduction of experiment.
Vapor compression refrigeration system, it has four components: compressor, condenser, capillary tube, that is expansion valve, and evaporator. All these components are connected to each other by piping. This pipe, this pipe, this pipe, and from the back side some connections from the main pipe are taken for various purposes, to know the pressure, these two pressure gauges, to save, for keeping this compressor for safety purpose, this high pressure, low pressure cutout, and evaporator tubes are arranged here in the this is evaporator tank, you can say. In this water we are keeping. Why? Because in our domestic refrigerator we are keeping food, we are keeping cold drinks, we are keeping milk. That is what refrigeration load. Here we are keeping water and we are cooling the water. That cooling water effect, that is refrigerant effect, we can measure by the formula, and compressor work we can measure by using electrical, this energy meter. So in this, these are three wire like, these are what? Thermocouple. Now these two thermocouples are connected. One thermocouple goes to this, where there is a display, temperature display. It will give us temperature of calorimeter. That calorimeter means which calorimeter? Water calorimeter. Okay. One thermocouple goes to control this heating thermostat. Means we are using here heater to heat the water to give the load. So this heater should off automatically when the desired temperature is achieved. So that thermocouple goes to thermostat. Here are two thermostats. One is a heating thermostat. One is a heating thermostat, and another is this thermostat which controls the compressor work. When in this chamber desired temperature is achieved, at that time compressor gets off. So this is another thermostat. Dryer prevents entry of moisture to the capillary tube, which goes to the capillary tube, and accumulator that prevents or ensures only vapor. Liquid traces cannot go to the compressor, because after the evaporator, this insulated line comes to the accumulator and then it goes to the compressor. Here, suppose some liquid traces of the refrigerant, that liquid traces will be prevented. Here gapples are provided, horizontal plates. These plates will arrest that liquid traces and only vapor will be allowed to the compressor. Thus compressor work will be proper, that is dry compression. Wet compression versus dry compression we have seen. There are some disadvantages of wet compression, that is lubricant may wash out from the compressor. HPLC cutout, this will protect the system. When the system is running out of the high pressure range and low pressure range, then automatically compressor will off. This also we have seen. These two pressure gauges will give us reading of one high pressure means compressor discharge side and another low pressure means compressor suction side. Compressor divides the system into two parts, low pressure side and high pressure side. High pressure side system pressure goes up to 300 psi. 300 divided by 14.51. This will be what? In bar. Comes around 19 to 20 bar. Okay. Plus, this is what gauge pressure. We use for the calculation absolute pressure. That is why to this value we add 0.95 bar as an atmospheric pressure for Pune. As per the altitude. At Pune, 0.95 bar pressure is a standard value which we use. So in this way, those two pressure gauges readings we take. Then, for the calculation of theoretical COP, we need temperatures. This is the 134A chart. On this we plot the cycle. So to plot this cycle, what we need? Temperatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 points we locate. So these temperatures are given here. 1 is after compression, 2 is after condensation, 3 is after expansion, and 4 is after evaporation. These 4 temperatures are of VCC cycle, and 5th reading is of calorimeter. So in this way, temperature readings, 5 temperature readings you will get on the display. Energy meter compressor, that reading we will get here. This difference of final reading and initial reading, that will be electrical consumption in kilowatt hours. that is what input to the system, and output to the system we are giving load by heater. That is why we take here heater reading in same way. So throughout the test, how much heater has consumed electrical energy, that final reading we will take. That will be our what? Output. So output divided by input will be what? Actual COP. So there are two types of COP, actual and theoretical COP. Theoretical COP we by using PHR. Here this thermostat and this heater heating thermostat. For the economy purpose, this thermostat is provided. Once the temperature is attained, automatically this thermostat will off the current which is going to the compressor. Now we will start the system. Now, what will be temperature of water? Initial temperature means that we can see. So first reading, note down in calorimeter column. Now the system is started. Now once system is started, you can see here this temperature will fall now. This is discharge pressure. Discharge pressure is rising and suction pressure is decreasing. The pressure is here, note down high pressure, and low pressure onwards 40. Low pressure reading. These 4 readings, 5 readings of the temperature, 2 readings of pressure gauges, and these 2 readings of energy meter we will take.
So, by conducting the experiment, we find readings. These readings are we write in this table form. So here is the first column of time. So we take the reading with interval of 5 minutes. So we conduct a test for 30 minutes. During the test, temperature of water calorimeter is maintained at steady level by adjustment of thermostat of heater. Refrigerant temperature readings at 4 locations are mentioned over here. T1 is after compression, T2 is after condenser, T3 is after expansion, and T4 is after evaporator. Pressure gauge readings for the suction side of compressor and discharge side of the compressor are mentioned over here in PSI, means pound per square inch. Energy meter reading in kilowatt hour for the compressor is mentioned, also for the heater. Now here in this case we take this last row for the calculation purpose. So we need to plot the vapor compression cycle for temperatures, means T1, T2, T3 and T4. So these 4 values we use for the location or to locate the 4 points of VCC. In order to calculate energy consumption of compressor, we take difference between this final and this initial reading. Similarly, we calculate energy consumption of heater by taking the difference of the final energy meter reading and this initial energy meter reading. So here is a sample calculation of actual COP. Here refrigerating effect is obtained in the form of heater energy consumption. So here in the water calorimeter we maintain the temperature by adjustment of heater thermostat. So during that, heater energy consumption is taking place, that is equivalent to the refrigerating effect, means output of the system. So it is given by this formula, that is final energy meter reading minus initial energy meter reading of the heater divided by time in R. So by putting the values from the table, this is a time in a minute which is converted into R by dividing it by 60. So we get here thermal load which is given to the system as a refrigerating effect in kilowatt. Compressor energy consumption means input to the system as a work is also calculated by using the formula. In this we put the values for the compressor, and also here we get compressor load in kilowatt, that is input to the system. Now actual COP is a ratio of refrigerating effect divided by work. So here we get value of actual COP. Sample calculation of theoretical COP includes, here first of all we need absolute suction pressure. So it is calculated by taking pressure gauge reading. So here for the calculation of absolute suction pressure, here atmospheric pressure is added to the gauge pressure. So here this is a suction, compressor suction pressure, that is a P1. Now here the reading is in PSI, that we have to convert into bar. So this is a relation for the conversion, and this is a atmospheric pressure. So we get suction pressure P1 in a bar, that is absolute suction pressure. Similarly, compressor discharge pressure, that is absolute value, is calculated by putting the discharge pressure, that is gauge pressure, in PSI, conversion into bar plus atmospheric pressure. So value of P2 we get in bar. In order to plot vapor compression cycle, we use pH chart of refrigerant. So let us understand the chart. So here it consists of saturated curve. So this is a bell-shaped curve which consists of left side, that is called as saturated liquid line, right side, that is called as saturated vapor line. This is a critical point. Corresponding pressure on the pressure scale, that is called as critical pressure, and corresponding temperature is called as critical temperature. Significance of critical point is that vapor compression cycle plot should below this critical point, because above the critical point condensation of the refrigerant is not possible. Now because of this bell-shaped saturated curve, this total area of the pH chart is divided into three regions. Left side region is called as subcooled region. In the bell-shaped curve, this is wet region, and right side is superheated region. Now here are the various lines which are of constant value. So this is constant pressure line which is horizontal. Vertical line represents constant enthalpy. This is a constant temperature line which is in vertical fashion in subcooled region. It becomes horizontal in wet region and falls down in curved manner in superheated region. Isentropic line means constant entropy line is going in upward direction in inclined way. This is curved line, that is density line. In some charts this line is given as a constant specific volume line. Now let us see the procedure of plotting vapor compression cycle on this chart. So first of all we take here P1 pressure which is calculated and draw the horizontal line. Then we take discharge pressure of the compressor in a bar. For that also we plot the horizontal line. So here we get these two lines. Now this is a liquid saturation line. On this line we locate the condenser temperature. So we take from the observation table condensation temperature, condenser outlet temperature, which was about 41 degrees Celsius. So we get here intersection of this vertical temperature line to the saturated liquid line at 41 degrees Celsius. This is one point we get. Similarly, here this is a temperature line which is here. So here we take temperature after evaporator, that is about 16 degrees Celsius. So here 16 degree Celsius line means which is between 0 and 20 degrees Celsius, and it is near to 20 degrees Celsius. So this constant temperature line and this suction horizontal pressure line intersect. There we find the one point. So this point is of evaporator exit or compressor suction pressure or compressor entry point. Now through this condensation point on the saturated line we draw vertical line. So this line will meet to the pressure line at suction and discharge pressure line. So we find here on these both side intersection points. So here on the discharge line we find point number 2, and on the suction pressure line we find point number 3. From point number 3 we draw the horizontal line which is cutting to this temperature line. This is a point number 4, that is entry to the compressor. From this point number 4 we draw the line which is parallel to these constant entropy lines. So this line will meet to the discharge pressure line, that is horizontal line, and here we find this point. That point is a point number 1. So that is what exit point of the compressor. So in this way we get plot of this vapor compression cycle. Now here in this case the sequence of the cycle is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now from these points we project the vertical line towards the enthalpy scale which is at the bottom. So here we find for point number 1 enthalpy H1. Similarly for point number 3 we find enthalpy H3, and for point number 4 we find enthalpy H4 in kilojoule per kg. Now here 3 to 4 process is evaporation process. So in the evaporator we find refrigerating effect means cooling effect. So we can calculate refrigerating effect by using the formula, that is H4 minus H3. Process 4 to 1 is a compression process. So in this compressor work is done. So formula for compressor work, that is W, which is equal to enthalpy difference means H1 minus H4 in kilojoule per kg. So from the pH chart now enthalpies which are obtained, these are enlisted here. Now theoretical COP formula is ratio of refrigerating effect to the work means H4 minus H3 divided by H1 minus H4. Putting the enthalpy values in the formula we calculate theoretical COP. So in the results we find theoretical COP and actual COP value. If we observe these both values, then we find in the conclusion that theoretical COP is always greater than actual COP because of reasons, that is loss in compressor line, pressure drop in condenser line and pressure drop in evaporator line. So at the end of this session we can explain practical relevance, importance and the procedure of determining performance parameters of vapor compression refrigeration system. You can also determine theoretical and actual COP by using vapor compression refrigeration test rig. If you like this video, please subscribe and share. Thank you.